Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars. Topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
And welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. And I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Alright, it's Monday, April 9th. Let's see, we only got about 2 more games left, I think, in the NBA season. Very exciting time. The Nuggets are still out of the playoffs right now, a game back, or actually same record as the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves currently hold that tiebreaker, and then they are a game back of the Thunder, who are in the 7th seed right now, and San Antonio, the Thunder, and the Pelicans. I mean, pretty much the 5 through 8 seeds in the West all have a chance of still missing out. I mean, at least one of them possibly, unless Denver just decides, you know what, we're not going to win and we're not going to make it in. So we'll see. But either way, like I said, all right, it's April 9th, it's Monday. And this is how the show's going to go. So I saw Ben Simmons made some comments about the whole Rookie of the Year thing. Said it's him 100% that should win it. No one comes close or something like that. I'm also just paraphrasing right here. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about yesterday's NBA games, recapping anything else that happened over the weekend. And then we're going to be talking about pretty much top teams heading into the playoffs. My top 5 teams probably will be doing that. I mean, it's really only a 2-team race between who's going to win the title this year, and both those teams are coming from the West, so we'll see about it. But either way, we're going to take up some segment space and talk about it. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. And then, like I said, for the 4th segment, as we always do, going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of basketball. Maybe we'll talk about those tanking teams, talk about how terrible they are. Who knows? All right, and we'll be making my picks for tonight's NBA games. So that's how the show's going to go. Let's start off. Should we start off with yesterday's games, or should we just go Ben Simmons' comments? I mean, the title is Simmons or Mitchell, so let's talk Ben Simmons, okay? Like I said, Ben Simmons made some comments. He was asked, I think, about the whole Rookie of the Year thing, and it's been a 2-player race, all right? Been a lot of good rookies this season, but yes, it has been a 2-player race. It's been between Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell, all right? And they're 2 very different players, if I say so, okay? I do think that right now, my pick for a Rookie of the Year would be Ben Simmons. But, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a very good player. All right, let's see. Look at Donovan Mitchell's stats right here. He's shooting 43% from the field, nearly 44. 34 from the three-point line. Let's see. How many points per game is he averaging? Let's go back to the normal stats. 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 20 points. All right, Ben Simmons is averaging, let's see, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 54% field goal percentage. But, I mean, that's kind of skewed because of the fact that, I mean, the dude does not shoot the basketball to save his life. Shooting 55% from the field. And let's see, what's 55% from the free throw line, I should say. What's Mitchell shooting from the free throw line? He's shooting 80% from the free throw line. All right. Well, either way, with Ben Simmons, I mean, he is the Rookie of the Year, and I don't know, it's kind of weird with Ben Simmons. Like, he's kind of playing to the point where is he as far as players in the league? Like, how good is he yet right now? All right. Do we still consider him just a rookie who's playing really well, or is he one of the better players in the league? Okay. And with Ben Simmons, he's kind of doing everything for the Sixers right now. And I wouldn't say that he's not even the best player on the Sixers. Like, is that fair to say? That he's not? I think we still consider Embiid the best player on the Sixers. I mean, I consider Embiid a top 5 center right now. You got Jokic, you got Embiid, Cousins, and then whoever else you want to throw in there. But with Simmons, it's just a matter of he is on another level right now. Okay, and so is Donovan Mitchell. Okay, they're not playing like rookies. The Jazz lost Gordon Hayward, and they're 47 and what? What's the record again? Let me double check. They're 47 and 33, already clinched a playoff spot. All right, the season's not even over yet. I'm sure none of us really predicted the Jazz to be to go out and do this. Okay, none of us at all. They're only a game back of Portland right now for the 3 seed, which is very interesting actually. The Jazz versus the Warriors in the second round would be a fun little matchup to watch, but so would the Jazz and Rockets. The Jazz are always that team. They're kind of like the Grizzlies, except better, like the Grizzlies from the last few years, except better because of the fact that they can actually go out and win games. Like, it's not just they're not going to give you a tough series. Like, they can actually pull out a couple of games there. But getting back to the whole thing, I mean, Ben Simmons, yeah, without a doubt, and I can't even say without a doubt. All right, He is my rookie of the year as far as who I would pick. Not that that matters or anything like that, because, I mean, like I said, it's just me giving my opinion. But it's just like, I don't know. They're very different. Like, I can't compare the two. It's weird. All right? Like, Donovan Mitchell, like, obviously they're rookies, but you don't even think of them, like, I don't even think of them as rookies anymore. It's because of how well they've been playing. Like, Donovan Mitchell, I think we can say that he is the best player on his team. Yeah. And like I said, with Simmons, it's Embiid, but I don't know. They've both been playing really well, and they've kind of, like, the whole thing with Simmons' comments is that I didn't like how he said that no one comes close. Okay? Simmons is very good, yes, but so is Donovan Mitchell. All right? And I'm not really sure what Ben Simmons is trying to get at, saying that no one comes close or anything like that. I mean, maybe he's just trying to become a villain, or maybe he just thinks he's that good or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe he's not paying attention or whatever, and he's talking about how coming off, like, they asked him if he had an edge because of he sat out last year. And that's one thing too with the whole people saying he's not a rookie or anything like that. Yeah, he's a rookie. He didn't play last year, so he's a rookie. All right, people say, oh, he's got the NBA training, he's with the team and all that. That's cool, but he didn't play anything. He didn't play at all. All right, so the whole he's not a rookie argument doesn't really work for me there. All right, but it's just with Simmons, I don't know. Maybe he's just really confident in himself. All right? Maybe he does think he's on that level, that top 10 level or something like that. Maybe. All right? And the NBA is kind of heading towards that too. The NBA is more so heading towards saying whatever you want, not caring what anyone else thinks. And I kind of like it. All right? Players are being more vocal as far as trash talking and all that. Twitter's a big thing. Social media is a big thing in the NBA right now with the players. And it's just because it's the younger generation playing in the NBA right now. That's all it is. The younger generation's taking over. All right? For all the people who, in NBA fans who want the game played the right way and all that, you better probably go away for a few years because this NBA you're not going to like. All right? But as far as, like, let's get back to the Jazz and all that, as far as how well they played. I mean, like I said, no one expected this to happen at all. You lose George Hill, Gordon Hayward, and I mean, I'd have to double check their record from last year, but I figure that there's not much of a difference. All right. And that's just kind of crazy to see that the Jazz, who had, the 13th pick, I think it was, and shout out to Detroit for missing out on Donovan Mitchell, just like they've missed on pretty much every solid draft prospect there's ever been. But yeah, like I said, I mean, they got him in like the 13th, with the 13th pick, 14th pick, I think it was, and that's kind of rare to get a player this good at that spot. Because of the fact that, I mean, usually the top 5 are the players you're going to do well with, unless you're the Cavs who draft Anthony better. Maybe you go after like a Joe Okafor if you're the Sixers or whatever. But you get just the gist of it there, okay? It's very rare for you to hit on a player to be as good as he is in his first season in the mid-teens pick, okay? And with the Jazz, it's just a matter of, I think, Donovan Mitchell, because I've seen this a lot too. People saying that Donovan Mitchell is going to become a very great player in the league, like a all-star and all that, but Ben Simmons is going to become an MVP type. All right. Why are we what is the big difference between the two? Is it that Simmons passes the ball and I guess you could say rebounds better? Because I mean, I guess that's it, but it's just a matter of people are talking like Ben Simmons is light years ahead of any rookie in this draft class, okay? Yes, he's the best rookie in the draft class, that's no doubt. But it's not like Donovan Mitchell is that less of a player than Simmons. All right. And it makes no real sense to me as to why, I don't know, maybe I just haven't seen it or whatever. Because, I mean, it's not like Ben Simmons has no jump shot whatsoever, okay? if you have a guy like LeBron come to that team, that kind of renders Ben Simmons a little bit useless unless LeBron is fine playing off the ball. And usually what we've seen so far in LeBron's career is he's going to dominate the ball game in and game out. He's going to be the one bringing it up. All right. And it's just with Simmons, that's my only knock on him, I guess you could say, is that he can't shoot the ball. And I'm not sure, like, teams are going to start game planning for that next season. All right. Imagine the Brad Stevens and Eric Spoelstra's of the world. All we got to do is play off this guy and double someone else. And that's how you stop Ben Simmons. All right. But nonetheless, I mean, yes, he's going to be the Rookie of the Year, no doubt. And as far as him saying that no one comes close, that's just not true. Donovan Mitchell's right there, but it's just a matter of Simmons has just been that much better. All right. And I'm kind of curious to see how this team does in the playoffs. Talking about the Sixers, I mean, we all know how the Jazz are going to do. They're probably going to get bounced in the second round, but you're probably going to be seeing a team like Boston or Washington. Let me see who's third in the East right now. Let's see. Last time I checked, the Sixers are in third. So, yeah, most likely going to be playing a team like Boston or Milwaukee, I guess you could say, because of the fact that right now Milwaukee's a 7 seed. So I'm going to be curious to see. I'd really like to see the Sixers versus the Celtics in the second round. All right. Not because like Kyrie Irving's going to be out or anything like that. I'm curious to see how Ben Simmons plays against his Brad Stevens coach team. I'm curious to see the matchups, the little tactics and all that, pretty much seeing how they line up against each other and see how it all goes down. That'd be probably the best series of the East in conference playoffs if it did happen. I mean, Cleveland versus Toronto, we know how that one's going to end. And like I said, with Boston and Philly's got to be the favorite in that one. But it's just a matter of the way Boston's been playing. I mean, you can't really sneak anything past them either. But yeah, as far as the Rookie of the Year goes, yes, Ben Simmons is going to be the Rookie of the Year, no doubt. But do not sleep on Donovan Mitchell, all right? He needs to be in that same tier as Ben Simmons. You want to put Simmons and Mitchell in that top tier as far as the rookie class this year, that's fine. No doubt about it. They are better than Tatum. They are better than Markkanen, no doubt, all right? But it's not like it's some far and away thing as far as their abilities, all right? Donovan Mitchell is just right there with Ben Simmons. It's just Mitchell plays in Utah, Simmons plays for Philly. But just wanted to give some quick thoughts on that. All right, like I said, I just want to give my thoughts on it. Next up, we're going to be talking about yesterday's NBA games and anything else that I missed over the weekend as far as the NBA. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. That first segment basically just meant to give my thoughts on Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell. I do think that Ben Simmons is going to be the Rookie of the Year, as he should be, but let's not act like there's some big gap between the two. Donovan Mitchell is already pretty much not top player. He's a budding star in the league, I should say that. All right, and same with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is not on that top 10 level, top 15 level, top 20 level, any level right now. All right? Let's pump the brakes a bit. Yes, he's a very good player. Yeah, he's a great player. All right, they're both great players. But like I said, let's pump the brakes a bit. Let's take it easy, and let's develop our thoughts on him over the next couple of years. All right? But anyways, for this segment, we're going to be talking yesterday's NBA games. Going to be recapping the scores and pretty much giving any other thoughts that I have about anything else that happened over the weekend. I mean, it was a pretty quiet weekend. I mean, the Rockets lost to the Thunder on Saturday, I think it was. If the Thunder would have lost that game, then they would have been in the 9th seed, but nonetheless, they ended up winning, and that's a big win by them right there. But that was pretty much the only notable thing over the weekend, unless I'm completely missing something. But nonetheless, let's get into it. All right. First up, we had the Atlanta Hawks facing off with the Boston Celtics yesterday, and the Hawks won this one, 112-106. For the Hawks, you had John Collins with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Taurean Prince had 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 12 of 17, 7 of 8 from the three-point line. Dwayne Dedmon had 10 points, 4 rebounds. For the Celtics, you had Al Horford with 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 5 of 11. Jason Tatum had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 8 of 12. Terry Rozier had 10 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, shot 4 of 9 from the field. Jaylen Brown, 12 points, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 10. Semi Ojeleye had 13 points, 6 rebounds, shot 5 of 7, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Greg Monroe had 17 points, 4 assists, shot 7 of 8. And let's see, you had Jabari Bird, who is quietly starting to make a little name for himself for the Celtics right now. Had 9 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 5, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. I think there's a thing, if the Celtics cut Abdel Nader, they can bring in Jabari Bird to play with them in the playoffs. I think they should do that. I think Bird brings a whole lot more to this team than Abdel Nader does, but we'll see about it. But not really big news here. I mean, if anything, this is a bad result for the Hawks because of the fact that they're trying to tank right now, and obviously, you're not trying to win these games, all right? You want to lose as many as possible, which is kind of weird just to talk about because of the fact that, I mean, you just never expect teams to go out and want to lose, but that's what they're doing. So let's see what happened for the next game. We had the Pacers facing off with the Charlotte Hornets, and the Pacers won this one 123-117. For the Pacers, you had Thaddeus Young, who only played 17 minutes in this one, had 2 points, 3 rebounds. Bojan Bogdanovic had 13 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 11. Darren Collison had 9 points, 4 assists, shot 4 of 8. Victor Oladipo had 27 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 12 of 15, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Domantas Sabonis went off for 30 points in this one, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 13 of 21. Corey Joseph had 13 points, shot 5 of 7. Glenn Robinson III, 13 points, shot 4 of 6, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And you had good old Lance Stevenson. Could have had a triple-double, had 10 rebounds, 10 assists, only 8 points though because he shot 3 of 13 from the field, 0 of 6 from the three-point line. That's a classic Lance Stevenson game right there, I feel. For the Hornets, you had Marvin Williams with 16 points, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 8, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had 11 points, 2 rebounds, shot 3 of 7. Dwight Howard only played 24 minutes in this one, 10 points, 12 rebounds. Kemba Walker, 12 points, 5 assists. Nick Batum had 8 points, 3 assists. And then off the bench, you had Frank Kaminsky with 9 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 3 of 11. Not great. Willie Hernan-Gomez had 14 points, 8 rebounds, shot 4 of 5. And then look at that. Malik Monk starting to figure it out. All right. Shot 8 of 17 from the field. Only hit 3 out of his 11 threes, but did have 22 points, 5 assists. Charlotte should be very happy that Malik Monk is finally showing up. All right. He is not the key to this team being good again, but nonetheless, he's going to be a nice little building piece for this team. All right. I'm not sure what they do with Kemba Walker in the offseason, whether they keep him or get rid of him, but nonetheless, if you got Malik Monk playing well, eventually you can insert him into the starting lineup maybe next season, so we'll see about it. But for the Pacers, I think they're currently the 5th seed right now, would be playing the Cavs in the first round. That'd be a fun first round matchup to watch. All right. I think the Cavs can get it done in 6 games, possibly 7, but nonetheless, I mean, Pacers will give them a run for their money, and we got a few series that are going to be good. We got Philly versus Miami if it ends the way it is right now as far as the seeding goes. Milwaukee versus Boston, and then Toronto. Again, like I've said, all right, if you're actually, I don't know. The Wizards are a team that kind of scares me because of the fact that you got John Wall, Bradley Beal, and all those guys out there, and they're such a low seed, but they're 2-8 in their last 10 and lost 4 in a row. Maybe it's just the Wizards just aren't a good team. Maybe I'm just overhyping them a bit and putting too much stock into John Wall. Maybe it's just a matter of that team didn't have real good chemistry when he's out there. That possibly could be it. So you know what? As far as the Wizards go, I'm kind of backpedaling on my take about them. All right, they might just be one of the weakest team out of the 6 through 8 seeds right there between Miami, the Bucks, and themselves. So we'll see about it. But either way, like I said, the Pacers won 123-117. Then we have the Dallas Mavericks facing off with the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly won this one 109-97. I think that extends it to 14 in a row. Yeah, 14 in a row for Philly. For the Mavericks, you had Harrison Barnes with 21 points, 3 rebounds, shot 9 of 25 there. Let's see. Dennis Smith Jr. had 20 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 9 of 19, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Doug McDermott with 10 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 10, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. For the Sixers, you had Dario Saric with 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 4 of 10, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Robert Covington had 15 points, 10 rebounds, shot 5 of 9, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Ben Simmons had 16 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, shot 7 of 10. JJ Redick had 18 points, 4 assists, shot 6 of 14, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, you had Markelle Fultz with 8 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 4 of 11. And you had Aaron Ilyasova with 11 points, 12 rebounds. And then Marco Bellinelli had 15 points, 4 rebounds, shot 7 of 15 there. I'm very curious to see how this Philly team does in the playoffs, all right? You remember, I think it was on this podcast, all right? About a month ago, I think it is, maybe a few weeks ago, because we do 3 episodes a week. So maybe about 12, I don't know. I can't remember exactly. But nonetheless, you can go back and listen to them all and find me talking about how I think that Philly I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this was before they went on the win streak and all that. All right, Embiid wasn't hurt or anything like that. This was before all of this, okay? And I was saying that Philly did have a solid chance of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so I'm just saying, I've been on that bandwagon for a while. Still kind of curious to see how they fare in the playoffs because of the fact that they don't really have any true playoff experience. All right, JJ Redick's been known to lose in the second round a couple of times. I think has Ilyasova ever played in the playoffs? I feel like he's been around for a while, so he's had to been there at least once. Bellinelli was there with the Spurs. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it, right? Amir Johnson with the Celtics. So I guess they do got some, but none of their key players, none of the top players have playoff experience, all right? But either way, besides JJ Redick, I guess you could say. But either way, very excited to see what Philly could do in the playoffs this year. All right, for the next game, though, we had the Detroit Pistons facing off with the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis didn't do themselves any favors here winning. They won 130 to 117. For the Pistons, you had Anthony Tolliver with 19 points, 4 rebounds, shot 5 of 10, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. Andre Drummond had 12 points, 18 rebounds. Reggie Jackson just has not shot the ball well at all since he's came back. 2 of 9 from the field, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Luke Kennard had 18 points, 4 assists, shot 6 of 12, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. Ish Smith had 11 points there. Off the bench, 11 assists also. And then for the Grizzlies, you had Dylan Brooks with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 5 of 12. Marc Gasol had 20 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, shot 8 of 16. Ben McLemore got the start in this one, shot 5 of 6 from the field, 13 points, 3 rebounds. And then off the bench, you had Marshawn Brooks with 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 9 of 14, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. I think he's averaging 23 points with the Grizzlies right now. All right. And I don't know, the Grizzlies might have something there as far as a player off the bench. Maybe you get the first pick, bring in DeAndre Ayton, throw in Marshawn Brooks in that starting lineup. Maybe you have something there. Who knows? But either way, like I said, the Grizzlies won this one 130 to 117. Like I said, Luke Kennard had 18 points. Been kind of off and on as far as his rookie year. But that's who the Pistons took instead of Mitchell. All right, they took Kennard instead of Mitchell. And again, it is, I guess you could say, hard to draft players and know which ones are going to work out and which ones aren't. But it's just, maybe the Pistons just have a curse because they are missing on everyone. All right, I mean, from Darko to picking Darko to picking Kennard, it's just a matter of, like I said, they can't hit on a top draft pick yet. All right, but either way, let's see what happened for the next game. We had the Orlando Magic facing off with the Toronto Raptors. Toronto won this one, 112 to 101. Let's see, for the Magic, you had Aaron Gordon with 16 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 12. Going to be a free agent this year. Going to be curious to see what happens with him since he is a restricted free agent. Mario Hezonja had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 5 of 11. Or actually, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, excuse me. Nikola Vucevic had 10 points, 9 rebounds. For the Raptors, you had Serge Ibaka with 13 points, 8 rebounds, shot 6 of 11. Norman Powell had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Let's see, Kyle Lowry had 11 points, 7 assists, shot 3 of 10, 1 of 7 from the three-point line. We're going to talk about Kyle Lowry in a couple seconds. You had CJ Miles with 22 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 13, 5 of 10 from the three-point line off the bench. All right, no DeMar DeRozan in this one. Sat the game out because of rest. Kyle Lowry needs to pick it up. All right, definitely needs to pick it up. I feel like he's been kind of slipping the last last week or so. Hasn't been playing extremely well. Maybe he's just realizing, you know what, playoffs coming up. This is usually when I do my best work as far as not playing well, but he's really got to pick it up. Toronto has no chance whatsoever to make any noise in the playoffs, okay? No chance if Kyle Lowry does not pick up his play and show up for the playoffs at least. All right? He's got to figure something out. I don't know what it is. Maybe go see a witch doctor, voodoo. Who knows? Either way, figure it out, Kyle Lowry. All right, this is probably the best team Toronto has had in a while as far as top to bottom all around, and there's no excuses as to why they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. All right, they have to. They're the number 1 seed, been the best team in the East all year long. They better figure it out. Kyle Lowry, for that matter. I know DeMar DeRozan's going to show up. All the other guys, I'm sure, are going to play well, but it all comes down to Kyle Lowry. If he doesn't get it going, then they have no shot whatsoever. All right, but yeah, Kyle Lowry, definitely get it right. As for the next game, the Utah Jazz beat the Lakers 112-97. All right, we had Derek Favors with 10 points, 13 rebounds. Joe Ingles had 22 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 9 of 12. Ricky Rubio had 9 points, shot 4 of 6. Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 9 of 18, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. Again, put some respect on this guy's name. Off the bench, you had Jay Crowder with 18 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 7 of 18, 4 of 11 from the three-point line. Royce O'Neal had 15 points, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 7, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. For the Lakers, you had Julius Randle with 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Also very curious to see what happens with that guy as far as free agency. Brook Lopez, Gusang, 0 points, 0 of 10 from the field. Did have 5 rebounds, 3 assists though. Contavious Caldwell-Pope had 8 points, 2 rebounds. Alex Caruso had 6 points, 4 rebounds in this one. Josh Hart had 25 points, 4 rebounds, shot 10 of 18. And off the bench, you had Tyler Ennis with 22 points, 6 rebounds, shot 9 of 18, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. And Lonzo Ball held out yet again in this one. Left knee contusion, been out for a while. Don't even bring him back. There's no point. And I'm kind of curious. I mean, would we consider this a good season for Lonzo Ball? As far as all the hype that was around him? I mean, I feel like everyone at ESPN picked him to be the Rookie of the Year, which I'm kind of curious as to why. Again, this is all hindsight, but why did no one pick Ben Simmons? It was Lonzo Ball more so that had all the hype before the season started, not Ben Simmons. That makes no sense to me. All right, last year we were talking about Ben Simmons being the next LeBron type prospect, which he is, definitely, no doubt. But I feel like we weren't talking about enough about Ben Simmons. Maybe it's because of his jump shot or whatever, but who knows? But like I said, the Lakers lost this, or the Jazz, I should say, won this one, 112-97. Very curious to see what the Lakers do in the offseason. Are they going to be obviously they're going to try to bring in LeBron, but are they going to be bringing in Paul George either way? Who knows? We'll see about it. All right. As for the next game, we had the Golden State Warriors facing off with the Phoenix Suns. Golden State didn't look too bored in this one. They won 117-100. Draymond Green had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 4 of 10, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. Kevin Durant had 17 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 6 of 11. Klay Thompson, 34 points, shot 14 of 23 from the field, 6 of 13 from the three-point line. Quinn Cook had 14 points, 6 rebounds, and then for the Suns, you had Dragan Bender with 14 points, 14 rebounds, shot 6 of 13. Maybe there's something there with Dragan Bender, all right? I figured he was a bust, but maybe he might be a good player for the Suns. Alex Len had 16 points, 10 rebounds, shot 7 of 15. Then you had Tyler Ulis with 15 points, 10 assists, shot 5 of 15, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Once again, the Warriors won that one 117-100. Not going to talk too much about the Warriors right now because we're going to talk about them in the next segment because, like I said, we're going to be talking about my top playoff teams going into it. As for the Suns, really hope they get A in because of the fact that I think it's going to be a very nice team to watch next year if they do. So we'll see about it. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this segment. Next up, like I said, we're going to be talking about my top teams in the playoffs. Going to give a little opinion about all of them. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. For that first segment, we talked about Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell. Second segment, we talked about Sunday's NBA games, recap those. And for this segment, we're going to be talking about my top playoff teams. I don't know. We'll see how many teams I talk about, but nonetheless, that's what the basis of the segment's going to be. All right. So, I mean, we're heading into the playoffs. Only got about 2 games left. Yeah, only about 2 games left for most teams. And I think we got a pretty solid idea for what's going on as far as the East. I mean, we got Toronto in first, Boston in second, Philly in third, Cleveland in fourth, Indiana in fifth, Miami in sixth, Milwaukee in seventh, and Washington in eighth. Let's see, does Washington play tonight? I don't think they do. Let me double check. All right. And with Washington, I don't know. They've just been a very weird team. Yeah, they don't play tonight. I think they play tomorrow. Let's see, who do they play tomorrow? They play the Celtics. That is going to be a fun one right there. That's going to be a TNT game right there. Let's see, the Bucks. Do they play? I think the Bucks play tonight. Very curious to see who ends up with what, because of the fact that, I mean, like I said, now I'm kind of backtracking on it. Oh yeah, so the Bucks play the Magic tonight. So it's looking like the Wizards are going to be the 8th seed in the East. All right, so I guess that's probably how it's going to be ending up in the East right there. Let's look at the West. You got Houston at 1, Golden State at 2, Portland at 3. That's subject to change though, depending on how they do to finish out the season. They've lost 3 in a row, 4-6 in their last 10. Utah is 7-3 in their last 10, 1-5 in a row, and only a game back at Portland, so that could change there. We got New Orleans in 5th, San Antonio in 6th, Oklahoma City in 7th, Minnesota in 8th, and got this currently, like I said, got the tiebreaker over the Nuggets, and the Spurs and Thunder only a game up on the Nuggets, who are currently in the 9th spot, along with the Pelicans. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. All right, nonetheless, like I said, it's playoff time, and I feel like this season has gone by very fast. All right, and this was probably one of the more entertaining seasons in recent memory as far as how the NBA goes. All right, we had Lonzo Ball. He was a big story all year. Was injured all year too. All right, and like I said, that was most people before the season picks to win the rookie. There was Lonzo. All right, but nonetheless, we had that. We had Markelle Fultz. That whole little weird situation. Kawhi Leonard seems to be feuding with these Spurs, so who knows what's going on there. But like I said, it's all pretty much added in, combined to make it a very entertaining NBA season. But here we are, playoff time. All right, who's going to win the title? Who has a chance to win the title? Who's going to flop? Okay. I mean, we look at Cleveland right now, okay? 4 seed in the East, 9 games back of first, obviously. Probably going to end up as the 4 seed either way. All right, and it's looking like, and I quote, playoff LeBron is coming back to life. All right, and that's one thing. That's a pet peeve of mine, too. I can't stand when people will talk about certain players, call them playoff LeBron. One thing I can't stand is number 8 Kobe was better than 24 Kobe, or 24 Kobe was better than 8 Kobe, or people like to say prime Kobe. I can't stand that. All right, I can't at all. They're the same player. Just say, it makes no. It's the same player. They talk as if they're different players. All right, like literally comparing one player's point in time in his career with another. I mean, just talk about how a few years ago Kobe was a very good player. All right, LeBron seems to turn it up once the playoffs come. Playoff LeBron is the same as regular season LeBron. They're the same person. It makes no sense to me. All right, but nonetheless, this is a little pet peeve of mine. But talking about the Cavs, I mean, they got to be the favorites in the East right now, okay? Stephen A. Smith's talking about how he thinks that it's going to be Philly and Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals. Winner of that's going to come out of the East, obviously. But I don't know. Actually, let me get into Cleveland real quick, because I'm going to talk about Philly, and I'm going to rank them all as far as my top 5 teams going into the playoffs. But with Cleveland, it's just a matter of LeBron is on something else this season, okay? I think this might be the first time in his career he's played all 82 games, I think it is. And usually we've seen LeBron pretty much be that guy who gets rest and all that. And I have no problems with players taking rest. That's one thing, too. Like, fans will be like, oh, no, we're paying to see these players. Like, no, you're paying to see the teams, okay? You pay to see whatever the teams put out. So I'm perfectly fine with players resting and all that, sitting in big games. Doesn't matter to me. But, yeah, LeBron's been out there all year. This is his 15th season, right? Yeah, his 15th season. And it's just a matter of, I don't think, have we ever seen this before as far as a player being so dominant this late in his career? Jordan came into the league in 85, I think it is? I don't even think he was playing, he retired in 98. I don't even think he lasted 15 seasons. All right? And that's one thing, too. I mean, when are we going to start calling it what it is, saying that LeBron's better than Jordan? Are we going to do the whole thing where we hate the player while he's playing and then we're just going to appreciate him once he's retired? Because that's what I did with Kobe, to be honest. All right, I hated Kobe when he was playing. And then I remember that game against the Jazz, his last game of his career. Pretty much did not want Kobe to go. And I think that's what's going to happen with LeBron. All right? But either way, heading into the playoffs, yeah, the Cavs are the best team in the East. Boston, they're as injured as anyone. Philly, they're not better than Cleveland right now. All right, I'm not ready to do that yet. Philly eventually looks like they are going to take over. Maybe LeBron says, hey, you know what, I'm going to go over there. We'll see about it. Toronto, I can't trust Toronto right now. All right? And it's going to be between those top 4 teams. I mean, the bottom 4 teams, the Pacers, the Heat, the Bucks, and the Wizards, I don't see really any of them causing any upsets. Maybe the Heat, possibly, but it's just, I don't think I'm reaching right there. I don't think the Bucks can knock off the Celtics just because of the fact I think that coaching is going to be a big factor in that series, and Brad Stevens obviously runs circles over Milwaukee's coach. As far as the Wizards go, I mean, 2-8 in their last 10, lost 4 in a row. I figured that'd be the team you don't want to see in the playoffs as far as if you're a high-seeded team, but it's looking like they're soft, so nothing to worry about there. So like I said, as far as the top 4 teams in the East go, Cleveland is the team to come out there. All right, that's the pick. And you know me, I've been pretty much doubting Cleveland all year. Okay? Did not think they were a good team when they had Isaiah and those guys. Didn't think there was much of a difference when they got Larry Nance and all them. But nonetheless, there's just something about the Cavs and there's just something about the Cavs or about LeBron that makes us think that the Cavs are a good team. All right, because in reality, you take LeBron away from that team, they're not good. Okay, you take Kyrie away from the Celtics, they're still a pretty good team. They're still 7-3 in their last 10. Cleveland is nothing without LeBron. Let's get that clear. All right, absolutely nothing. But nonetheless, I mean, when you got him out there, you always have a chance. So they're 8-2 in their last 10. Still giving up 110 points per game. Not looking great. I mean, that's the most out of all the top 8 teams in the East. But nonetheless, they are the favorites to come out of the East, okay? And as far as who probably, I guess, would be my second favorite to come out the East, it's got to be Philly, okay? It has to be. 14 in a row they've won. Obviously 10-0 in their last 10. That goes without saying. But it's just a matter with Philly. My only concern with them is playoff experience as far as the top players. Simmons and Embiid don't have it, all right? How well are they going to do? Is the moment going to be too big? I know those Philly fans are going to be out there in full force, selling out the arena. That's no doubt. All right? But I'm just very curious to see pretty much if experience plays a factor. And I know basketball in the NFL does play a big factor, I feel. It's like kind of what you saw with the Rams and Falcons. All right? Rams were obviously the better team all season long, but it's just the Falcons knew what the moment was like. And I'm curious to see if that's going to affect Philly in any way. And I guess you could go Toronto in third, Boston in fourth as far as teams that come out of the East there. All right, let's head over to the West, okay? You got the Rockets, who are 64-16, 800 winning percentage. That's a nice little stat right there. 34-7 at home, 30-9 on the road, 12-4 in the division, 40-10 in the conference, scoring 112 points per game, nearly 113, giving up only 104, which is better. And there's like this whole little narrative that the Rockets don't play defense. We need to get over that. That's done. All right, if we're going off of opponents' points per game, they have had a better defense than the Warriors. All right, the Warriors are giving up 3 more points than the Rockets are. Rockets are 8-2 in their last 10. Warriors are 5-5. I want to believe in the Rockets. Trust me, I truly do. I truly want to believe in the Rockets. But I can't. Golden State plays in the West. Okay, I can't believe in the Rockets. I'm sorry. It is what it is. All right. I don't know. I've been kind of leaning that way though. With the Warriors, it just goes down to the whole. They're gonna have a tough little run in the playoffs. You're gonna have to see who'd they be playing right now. They'd be playing the Warriors or the Thunder. If they end up playing the Timberwolves in the first round, that'd be tough. I think they could. I don't know. The Thunder have had the Warriors' number this season. Would the Thunder give them a tougher matchup than the Timberwolves? You'd like to think so, right? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you say that? I mean, because what? The Thunder have won, 2 out of 3 against the Warriors this season? Yeah. I guess you could say without Steph, I mean, it would be... That's a series I'm looking forward to now, because I'm confused about that series now. KD shows up when he plays the Thunder. Westbrook shows up when he plays the Warriors now. It's just a matter with the Thunder want to have any chance, okay? And I don't think they do. of beating the Warriors in the first round. But if they want to have any chance whatsoever at beating the Warriors, Melo's got to show up, okay? And I might sound on this podcast like the biggest Melo hater, and I try not to be. I just try to pretty much just give my opinion on it. It's not really me so driving a narrative or anything like that. But it's just, like I said, with Melo, I'm not trying to hate on the guy. I think he's one of the better scorers. I'm not sure about all time, but he's been one of the better scorers since he's been in the league, probably, if not the best scorer during a period of time in his career. But it's just a matter of Melo's got to show up, okay? Paul George, he's going to play well. He always does in the playoffs. I have no doubts about that. But if Melo shows up and kind of figures out what's going on with his season and just pretty much plays, not like the old Melo, but kind of like a newer version of Melo that could be productive and all that and efficient, the Thunder have a decent chance. It's just with the Warriors. The only reason I'm having this conversation right now is because of the fact that I don't trust the Warriors without Steph Curry, okay? And like I said, let's say the Warriors win the title this year and Steph plays well when he comes back. We're going to have that conversation. Conversation meaning, where is Steph all time? Maybe he's top 20 if they win the title. He's top 20 at least, no doubt, okay? He's on his way. The way his career's headed as far as where it could potentially finish, he could be top 5, top 10. I don't know. But either way, like I said, with the Thunder, I mean, if I'm the Warriors, it's tough. Okay? Because you're going to have to face a Thunder team where you got a Westbrook who loves these type of moments. Kind of like a guy who holds a grudge. All right? So we'll see. Second round, you'd probably have to play a team like Utah or Portland. I'd be more worried about Utah than I am about Portland if I was Golden State. Either way, though, I think they'd be able to knock them all off. And you got the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. All right? I'm kind of trying to talk my way into picking the Rockets. I just can't do it yet. But nonetheless, I mean, those are the only two teams that are going to be coming out of the West that have a chance at coming out of the West. Portland's not going to do it. Utah's not going to do it. New Orleans for sure isn't going to do it. San Antonio's not going to do it. The Thunder, I mean, if they were to knock off the Warriors, they do got a chance, but that's highly doubtful as far as the first round. And Timberwolves, I mean, I don't know, unless Tom Thibodeau realizes he's got a bench where he's got players he could play, or instead of playing everyone else 40-plus minutes a game, who knows about them. But either way, let me rank my top 5 teams going into the playoffs, all right? Let's go. I got to go with the Rockets at number 1. I have to. Okay, so I got the Rockets at number 1. And I'm ranking them as far as, I don't know, should I do it based on how they're playing right now or just based on how I do? I'm going to go based on how they're doing right now, okay? I got to go Rockets at 1. I got to go Philly at, no, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to go Rockets at 1, Cleveland at 2, Philly at 3, Golden State at 4. Then I got to go Toronto at 5, and I guess Boston would be the 6th team right there. All right? So those are my top 5 teams. We'll see about it. I'm not going to make any picks as to, let's make a way too early pick, okay? This is subject to change. I'm just going to throw it out there. I want to be bold here. I want to be bold. I'm not going to make a pick. I'm not going to do that, okay? Because I was about to say I'm going to call Philly versus the Rockets in the finals. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it whatsoever, okay? So we're going to wrap up the segment here. Next up, like I said, we're going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of basketball. Going to be making my picks. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. This is the last segment of the show. So what we're going to do for here is pretty much talk about anything else that crosses through our mind as far as the world of basketball and talk about any other news storylines going on. And there's not really too much going on in the league, so let's recap real quick. So far today, we've talked Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell, we've talked about Sunday's NBA games, recapped those, and we talked about a few teams going into the playoffs as far as what I think of them, ranked them a bit. All right, so we did that. Now, like I said, pretty much talk about anything else going on in the world of basketball. And Pat Riley made a statement today. All right, said that LeBron, quote, "He did the right thing. I just finally came to accept the realization that he and his family." Let me see real quick. He and his family said, "You'll never be accepted back if you're in your hometown if you don't go back and try to win a title." All right. Wow. Very convenient, Pat, that you not even forgive, just finally realize that LeBron didn't do anything wrong by leaving Miami. All right. Makes tons of sense there that you do that now, as the season's coming to its end. Wow. I wonder why Pat Riley did this. Maybe a certain LeBron could be a free agent this offseason? No, Pat Riley would never just say that for that, would he? I don't know. Would Miami, there's no way that LeBron ends up back in Miami, right? Right? I'm trying to tell myself that no, there's no way, but why not? Why not go back to Miami? All right? Obviously, you did your thing with Cleveland. No one cares if you stay there now except for Cleveland, and they'll probably hate you for it forever, but it is what it is. It's just Cleveland, right? No, but seriously, getting back to the fact, is there a possibility LeBron could end up back in Miami? If I'm him, I'd think about it at least. Spoelstra's still there. We know that Spoelstra's a better coach than Ty Lue. It's not even close. We know that it wasn't just LeBron doing everything when the Heat, like when those three players, Bosh, Wade, and LeBron, doing everything there. As far as them winning, Spoelstra had a little bit to do with it, obviously, since he's a very good coach. You got a nice little young team. Bam Adebayo there. Dragic could be your point guard. Wayne Ellington's a nice little player off the bench. Josh Richardson's there. Yeah, Justice Winslow. There might be something there. LeBron goes to the Heat. That'd be a very good team, an under-the-radar team. All right? Obviously, people, if you're going to compare him to the Sixers, to the Rockets, Lakers, and the Cavs, I guess, no one would really think. I think that the Heat right now, if they had LeBron compared to the Cavs right now with LeBron, the Heat would be miles better. Miles better. All right? I'm very curious to see what happens with LeBron, okay? It'd be the ultimate letdown if he stays in Cleveland. Like, LeBron's a genius. For him to go out and sign 1-2 year deals with opt-outs and all that every time he signs a contract is smart. You control your own destiny. That's what players need to be doing now. All right? Stop giving so much power to the teams, to the owners. Start taking it into your own hands. But like I said, I mean, it'd be very disappointing if LeBron ends up back in Cleveland. Okay? I want the storylines to talk about. I want something to talk about on the podcast. I want to enjoy. LeBron going back to Cleveland isn't a story. All right, LeBron going back to Cleveland, Cleveland is done this year. This is it. I think that next year, the East is going to be between Boston and the Philly. All right. Boston's going to be getting Kyrie back beginning of the season next year. Danny and Shitty should be ready for training camp. Surgery went well and is pretty much exactly how they expected it to go. Gordon Hayward should be back by then too. All right. Plus, you got a Jason Tatum, who, I mean, has looked phenomenal in his rookie year, coming into his second year. Jaylen Brown coming into his third year, developing. Al Horford, all right? And with Philly, I mean, you already get Ben Simmons. People are already talking about like he's going to be an MVP one day. I mean, imagine what he could do in his second season. Joel Embiid's already a top 5 center in the league, and Philly's just playing well. All right? Those are the teams that are taking over. Philly's time in the East is over. If I'm LeBron, you got to go. You only go back to Cleveland if you just want to, I guess, be loved by your home state. All right? Because believe it or not, Cleveland, you can't claim LeBron. He's not from Cleveland. He's from Akron. All right? That is not your quote-unquote prodigal son at all. All right? LeBron is not from Cleveland. He's from Akron. Don't get mad if he leaves. All right? But yeah, I'm just curious to see what happens with LeBron. Because of the fact that, I mean, how often do we get to see the best player in the league switch teams? Jordan stayed with the Bulls his entire career. Kobe tried getting traded in 2007 to the Bulls, but something went wrong there. And yes, Kobe fans, as much as you like to say, oh yeah, Kobe would never leave the Lakers. Yeah, it's because the Lakers didn't let him. Or whatever, the trade with the Bulls in 2007 didn't work. All right? So, that whole Kobe's loyal, yeah, he tried leaving. Don't worry about it. Let's see. What other players? I think those are, as far as free agents. Magic stayed with the Lakers his entire career. Bird stayed with the Celtics. I mean, players like that don't leave their teams. That's just something that doesn't happen. All right? So it is very interesting and very intriguing to see where a guy like LeBron could end up because of the fact that wherever he goes, you already know that team is going to be one of the best in its conference. Very possibly be one of the best in the league. It's weird how LeBron has that kind of effect. All right? And as far as, like I mentioned LeBron and Jordan earlier, LeBron is the better player. Okay? It's time we realize that. Yes, Jordan won 6 rings. That's fine. All right? Winning championships is hard. You need a team to do that. Rings are a team stat. When are we going to realize that? All right? But as far as LeBron goes, LeBron did pretty much everything except score better than Jordan. I feel comfortable saying that LeBron made his teammates better. Jordan didn't really do that too much. All right? And I'm not trying to knock Jordan. All right, for me, Jordan could be the second best player in the league, but I think it's time we all accept it what it is. All right, LeBron is the best player in the league. But I just wanted to give some thoughts on that, just some thoughts of my own as far as talking about everything. But now let's make my picks for tonight's NBA games. All right, so we have the Raptors facing off with the Pistons. I don't think DeMar DeRozan is going to be playing this one unless he doesn't need any more rest. Nonetheless, though, I don't think it matters. Pistons just aren't a good team whatsoever. I'm going to go with the Raptors in this one. Then we got the Bulls facing off with the Nets. I got Brooklyn winning this one. Bulls are trying to tank. Nets just stink, so I'm going to go with the Nets. Thunder versus the Heat. It's going to be a very good game there. I'm going to go with the Thunder, all right? I'm going to start picking them. I'm going with the Thunder in that one. Cavs versus the Knicks. I got the Cavs easy in this one. And we got the Magic versus the Bucks. I got the Bucks. Timberwolves versus the Grizzlies. I got the Timberwolves. Spurs versus the Kings. These are some very easy picks. I'm going to get every pick right tonight. I'm telling you right now. Spurs versus the Kings. I got to go with the Spurs in this one, obviously. Trailblazers Nuggets. Now there's a game to pick. I'm going with the Nuggets in this one. All right. They're probably one of the best home teams in the league. 30-10 at home. Trailblazers are 21-19 on the road. All right, so I got the Nuggets winning that one. Then we got the Pelicans facing off with the Clippers. I'm going with the Pelicans in this one. Clippers aren't playing for anything now that they're eliminated from playoff contention. Let's see, what else? We only got one ESPN game going on tonight. That is the Pelicans game, which makes no sense to put that one on ESPN, but nonetheless they did. So to recap, actually, do I want to pick the Thunder over the Heat? That's the game I'm kind of about. I'm going to go with... if the Thunder lose... If the Thunder lose tonight and the Nuggets win and the Timberwolves win and the Spurs win, and the playoffs, let's say the Pelicans, Spurs, Nuggets, Timberwolves win, does that mean the Thunder fall out of the top 8, or do they hold tiebreaker over the Nuggets? I'd have to double check that. But either way, it's gonna be very interesting. I'm loving how the West is coming down to, the 5 seed, who was the Pelicans, could fall out of the playoffs with 2 games left, which is something we rarely see. But nonetheless, all right, those are my picks for tonight's games. To recap, once again, I am going to stick with the Thunder. I got the Raptors winning, the Nets winning, the Thunder winning, Cavs winning, Bucks winning, Timberwolves winning, Spurs winning, Nuggets winning, and the Pelicans. So that's going to wrap it up for today. Today we talked Simmons and Mitchell as far as Rookie of the Year candidates. Recapped Sunday's games in the NBA. Talked about my top teams heading into the playoffs. And for this segment, talked a bit about LeBron and other things crossing my mind as far as basketball goes. So thanks for listening to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back on Wednesday, so stay tuned, and we'll talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.